Best fire build for samurai. Now we're going to start with the techniques. So for the techniques, of course, it's a fire build. So you want to run Raging Flame just so you can get as many enemies affected by the fire as possible. That helps a lot. Then you're going to run increased melee damage. You want to run one max resolve just because everything else isn't really as going to be as useful as the extra resolve. And then you're going to run your extra 2 attacks on your ultimate. So those are the techniques. For gear, we have Water Katana with Way of the Flame, and I have it on Moon Stance. But what you're going to want it on is you're going to actually want it on instead of Moon Stance. I don't want Moon Stance. I haven't been able to get what I want. You're gonna either want Burning Blade, which isn't as useful just because the chance is super small, or Water Master, just so you have more damage within your surging strikes. Either one of those. I guess it really doesn't matter what kind of sword you use, but Water Katana and your Moon Katana are going to be your best ones, without a doubt. So then, you also want to run melee damage and then Oni damage. You want to try to max those out. And then you also want to run Way of the Flame with this because it's a burn build. So then you're going to use your Forbidden Medicine. For that, we're going to use status effect damage to increase the damage of that fire. And then you could also run, instead of blast radius, you could run a status effect duration. But blast radius is a little bit better only because of the fact that your black powder bombs are going to have more of an effect if there's bigger waves. And then you obviously want this on Samurai Unlock, so you can actually use Forbidden Medicine on the Samurai. Afterwards, you're going to use the Samurai Charm with Super Armor, and then Fire Master. I don't have Fire Master yet, but once you get it, you're going to want to run it. And then Spirit Pool Targets isn't useful in this. Sadly, I don't have the ability currently to change it. So, but once you can change it, or if you do have it, you're going to want it on fire damage, just so that your damage is, your fire does as much damage as possible. And then you want your first perk as melee damage, and try to max that out. Afterwards, we're going to use Sticky Bomb, again, blast radius. Try to get that to 25%. I was able to get 21, which is actually decent. My ghost weapon, and then you want ghost weapon damage, so then these your ghost weapons do as much damage as possible. Also help with just the damage of your ghost weapons. Increased blast radius is definite. You would want this over Lucky without a doubt, because this also increases the blast radius of your Forbidden Mess and Black Powder Bombs, which allows it to have even more of an effect on enemies. And then fired up for the Sticky Bomb, of course, so you can have that catch enemies on fire. And then I use Caltrops. You're going to want ghost weapon damage and status effect duration, just so that obviously the status effect does as much damage as possible. And then you're going to use fired up, so that lights your enemies on fire. And then for this one, you're going to want to use deep bags, just so it has a bigger range of a bigger area of effect. So instead of the Caltrops, you could use your smoke bombs if you'd like, but those don't have any sort of fire aspect to them, so they're not going to be nearly as useful. And then I'll show some gameplay here.
I'll share any story with you.
Arrivals.
Let's begin.
And I'll show you what this looks like in Rivals.
Sun Goddess Amaterasu and Storm Lord Susanoo devised a contest. Two bands of ghosts would battle the forces of the underworld and compete for glory in their names. The great contest commenced. The infernal horde seemed almost boundless. The shade moved to block their offerings. The shade began blocking their offerings. Onyo descended upon them. One of the ghosts was taken out of the battle. The ghosts roused and Onyo frustrated their counterparts with an elder shade. Their rivals suffered a terrible curse. The horn blew and called forth the damned.
Both cannot be beat.
Their shade silenced the other side. The rival fell before the shade ally. The ghost horrors beyond the imagining rose from the underworld. The Onyo they unleashed gutted their rivals. Their rivals endured a curse. The ghost, their curse halted. The infernal horde seemed almost boundless. The ghost summoned an elder shade against their rivals. The ghost curse harmed their rivals. The ghost loosed an Onyo against their competitors. Demonic force in their shade punished a rival.
Your soul is mine!
plans faltered before an elder shade.
A foe can't be beat.
Our heroes called an elder shade to block their foes' offerings. Demonic forces clawed their way out of the darkness. And Onyo was in battle. The Oni could not stand. One of the ghosts was taken out of the battle.
That was too close.
The infernal horde seemed almost boundless. Enemy wounded a ghost. The ghosts cut through one army, only to turn and face another. The stench of ash and death heralded the advance of Oni allies.
A foe can't be beat.
Their God howled as the host in wind and terror. Shame threatened most men. Having ably served their patron, the ghost won the contest and glory.
Yep, and so that's the samurai build, samurai fire build.
Listen while I recount an adventure
A
of the
very
ghosts.
useful build, very good for getting out big waves of enemies because of just the status effect damage over time, and it's extremely useful. If you could get this charm here instead of spirit pole to a fire damage, and then on top of that to fire master, because the fire master and fire damage is universal for everything. So the fire damage perk here would be universal, and the fire master would be universal as well. So it would just make this build 1,000 times better. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. I will probably do a ultimate resolve gain build next. That or the currently the number one samurai build for
Which of these legends interests you?
survival, for nightmare survival. And that'll be my next video. Anyways, I'll see you guys there. Thank you for watching.